sideline, about 47 metres out. Maurice Fitzgerald. That is truly magnificent.
You first came into the Kerry team in championship football in 1988. Even in your wildest dreams, you wouldn't have believed you'd have to wait till 1997 to play in an All-Ireland final.
Well, we're very patient people down here in Carsaveen. I had always hoped and believed that I would play in an All-Ireland final. And when we finally got there this year, I was determined to go up and enjoy the actual occasion. And I got great support from the people of Carsaveen and from all around South Kerry. And there was a tremendous amount of goodwill. And I certainly was a very proud man leaving here to go up and represent him in an All-Ireland final.
Carsaveen, County Kerry welcomes home native son Maurice Fitzgerald. Thousands turn out to see Maurice and the Sam Maguire Cup. Kerry are the All-Ireland football champions for the 31st time, but the first after an 11-year barren spell. Not just the All-Ireland champions, but the National League champions too. It's been the year of the kingdom, a very good year for football.
At what stage, what moment, what hour, what weekend did you guys say, we now have the personnel to make the package that can get the Sam Maguire Cup?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and I'll tell you there was a moment when I said, and when I knew that Kerry were going to give a good account of themselves in the championship, and we played Clare in the McGrath Cup on the Sunday of Easter Sunday, I think it was, and Clare beat us. And a fortnight later we were down to play Down in the quarter-final of the league, and we took the team to Dublin on the following Saturday to play Dublin in Parnell Park in a friendly game. And it all came right on the day, and we didn't look back after that. We lost no game after that. We won every game, including Champions matches.
A great year for the Kingdom began last May when they won the league title against their old rivals Cork at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. It was a game that produced 4 goals, all of them in the first half.
Clark was trying to break it down. Maurice Fitzgerald knocking one in for O'Dwyer. This is Dennis O'Dwyer trying to beat the other O'Dwyer. Kevin, and he's done so! Off the funnel post and in. A fine run by Dennis O'Dwyer from Waterville. And a goal after 7 minutes. Kerry have switched their wing backs, and Eamon Breen has now gone across to the right. Moynihan's gone to the left. This is Darragh O'Shea, nephew of the team manager. Hassett back to O'Shea. Kerry build from the half-back line. Good movement here by Mike Hassett, who's an excellent footballer. To his brother, Liam, a year younger. Good ball across to O'Dwyer once again, around to Willie Kirby. Here's Parlade, he's been quiet so far. Nice turn. Knocked into Fitzgerald! And there's a second Kerry goal! And Maurice Fitzgerald has got it! Minutes after their first goal, Maurice Fitzgerald with his first chance, and he pops it into the back of the net. Now Kieran O'Sullivan. About 3 minutes to go to half-time. Good fetch by Colin Corkery. Lobbed in towards Stephen O'Brien. It falls down to Dorgan. Here's a chance, and it's a goal! Aidan Dorgan. 28 minutes into the first half. Seamus Moynihan now in injury time. Oh, it spills away from the defenders. It's an awkward day for defending because of the rain. Maurice Fitzgerald very quickly in towards Liam Flaherty. Here's another goal chance. It's another one. Liam Hassett. A goal in injury time. Kerry go back in front again. But what an exciting first half. Quick thinking by Maurice Fitzgerald. The accuracy of Liam Hassett. He squeezed it in past the goalkeeper.
Kerry ahead by 2 points at half-time. By full-time, they had increased that lead to 5. This Liam Hassett point being the highlight of the second half. It was the year of the Hassetts in the role of captaincy. Brothers Mike and Liam sharing it throughout the year. It was Mike who had the honour of lifting the first trophy of the season. Kerry were league champions, which was well celebrated by their support. But the greatness of a Kerry team is only valued by All-Ireland success, and the next task for this team was to defend their Munster title.
There's great team spirit in the team, and I think that helped us throughout the year, because if you're not good friends, you get sick of looking at each other, because it's a long year and a lot of hard training and weekends together, and if you're not good friends, you won't stick it out.
The championship campaign began for Kerry in Killarney against Tipperary. In a game in which they kicked 18 wides, Kerry were only leading by 1 point with 9 minutes left. A shock Tipperary victory was on the cards until Dennis O'Dwyer struck for goal. Kerry eventually won it by 5 points, but it was a shaky performance. When the draw was made in Munster, it was widely expected that Kerry would meet Cork in the Munster final. But Martin Daly of Clare put paid to that notion with his dramatic last-minute goal against Cork in the Munster semi-final.
Incredible! I don't believe it! Hughesy Park has come alive! The Ballard County are in the Munster final! What a finish!
When Clare came good in that, we were looking forward to that game, because we had owed Clare something from, I think it was 92 when they beat us in the Munster final. So it set up an interesting clash, and certainly it was one that we were relishing.
So does Kerry versus Clare in the Munster final, and 33,000 people turned up in Limerick to see it. After 25 minutes, Kerry led by 3 points and were playing good, flowing football.
This is Hassett. Lobbed in towards the giant Maurice Fitzgerald. Gallagher is marking him, but it's Fitzgerald with the opening chance, and he fists it over the bar. This time it's William Kirby from Austin Stacks in Tralee. Eamon Breen. Great possession play by the Kingdom to work it up as far as Brian Clark. Nicely across towards Darragh Kineda. A real class act, given good possession. That's Dennis O'Dwyer, his first point of the match. O'Dwyer. Darragh Kineda trying to get in on the blind side here of Alan Malone. Great ball inside for Clark. That's textbook. Declan O'Keefe from Rathmore. Hines leaping up in the air. He drops it this time to William Kirby. Parlade is next. Hasn't won a Munster Championship medal so far. Didn't play last year. John Enright in there to challenge, but powerless. Lade goes forward with great strength. That's a wonderful score by Parlade.
The score then 6 points to 3, but Clare got 2 scores in a row to reduce the gap to 1.
And they're opting to leave this one for Martin Daly to kick. Playing in his 10th championship match, 3 goals and 10 points so far at his championship career record. Now make that 3-11, his second of the day. Nicely down from Cathal Shannon. Donald O'Sullivan towards Martin Daly, taking a chest tie. He's getting so much possession against Mike Hassett. It must be a major source of concern for Paddy O'Shea. Still going through. No foul, the referee says play on. It comes to Frank Law, takes it up very neatly. Seamus Moynihan alongside him, the kick. And he has put it off the post and over the bar.
By half-time, Kerry had restored their 3-point lead. Kerry 8, Clare 5. 4 minutes into the second half, Parlade was about to celebrate a magnificent goal.
Parlade coming in to take this into an opening. Lade cracking the shot. That is magnificent skill. A brilliant goal by Parlade. Inch perfect. Absolutely devastating.
I don't remember much about it. There was a high ball kicked in by Liam Flaherty and I jumped for it, and the opening came and there was one or two backs on me, so I was under pressure to kick it, and I put the head down and thankfully it went in. It could have ended up anywhere, but it ended up in the back of the net.
I doubt that. I think you're being modest.
Clare, 6 points down, could have buckled, but they fought back well, scoring 4 points without reply, 2 of them from play.
Jerkeen on to Baby John, and he's popped it over the bar. John Enright from Kilkee. Liam Flaherty getting as tight as he possibly can, then slipping. A measured ball inside for Jerkeen, difficult one to take. Alongside him there is Eamon Breen, comes back towards Martin Daly, looking for the shot, looking for the score, and he's got another!
Clare within 2 points then, but that was as close as they could get, and Kerry pulled away towards the end of the game.
Mike Russell, Crowley's alongside him, Russell with the kick and Russell with the point! Liam Hassett, here's Eamon Breen. The weariness will have rubbed off now at this stage, and Clare will have an extra pep. 5 minutes to go, just a little under. Into Parlade from Dara O'Kineda. Back to John Crowley. The substitute's kick, like the other sub, has gone between the post and over the bar. And when you can bring in 2 subs like that to get such good scores and turn the game in your team's direction, well, you're on a winner. Racing through is Parlade. Under some pressure, he puts it over the bar.
The final score, Kerry 113, Clare 11 points. Kerry had retained their Munster Championship.
I was making the point to the players that, you know, any defender going out on the field, his ambition should be to keep his man scoreless. Any forward going out in the field, his ambition should be to get scores on the board. But in order for forwards to get scores on the board, it's important that they realise that they have a cushion behind them of a good defensive play. And we had that, you know, and I think that stood to us this year.
One feature of the 1997 championship was the number of exciting finishes, which set pulses racing all over the country. First up, Cavan and Fermanagh in the Ulster quarter-final. 4 minutes left on the clock. Cavan leading by 3 points, but Fermanagh had not succumbed. Collie Curran here for Fermanagh. The layoff to Raymond Gallagher. It reaches Bia Brewster, back to Gallagher again. Oh! Raymond Gallagher! The sides are level. Peter Riley gave Cavan the lead with this converted free. But Fermanagh equalised again with a Lee McBarron point. Back again to Collie Curran, release to McBarron, over the bar! Within a minute, Fermanagh had the lead. If you're neutral, you don't want either side to win or lose. Shane King coming in, is that the winner? It could very well be! But it was not to be. They're into injury time, the second minute thereof. This surely now will be Cavan's last chance. Peter Riley, Bernard Morris, it's all hands on deck for Cavan now. Morris, the layoff to Ford. He goes in for a shot, and it's over the bar! Anthony Ford! Ever since the draw was made for the Leinster Championship, the clash between Meath and Dublin had been eagerly awaited. There is generally plenty of drama when these two meet, and this time it was no different. Just as the 70 minutes were about up, Tommy Dowd scored a point
to give Meath a 3-point lead. It looked all over when Dublin suddenly had a penalty. Paul Bealon was the man chosen to take the pressure kick, scored and forced a replay, miss it, and Dublin out of the championship.
Paul Bealon hits it off the post, it comes back down through, and it's all over, and Meath are still the All-Ireland champions. Poor Paul Bealon, absolutely heartbroken.
Meath faced Kildare in the Leinster football semi-final, and although Kildare were confident, Meath were fancied to progress to the final. But with 5 minutes left, Kildare had a 1-point lead after this Declan Kerrigan point.
Trevor Giles equalised with this punt.
But in the final minute, Kildare had this opportunity to cause a shock by defeating the All-Ireland champions.
The Taoiseach can only just barely watch Kildare about to put out the All-Ireland champions. Here's the kick. He hits it. It's floating. It's going, and it's gathered under the crossbar. And Meath survive.
With only 3 minutes left to play in the replay, Kildare led by 3 points, but Meath had a penalty, and Trevor Giles stood up to take it.
Will he score it? Will he put it in the same place? Giles. Blocked by Christy Byrne. Cleared by Davy Dalton. Is it to be Kildare's day? Meath have 2 minutes to pull this game out of the fire, and they'll need it all. Ollie Murphy swings it in. Up goes Davy Dalton, he's dropped it. Yes, it's got in. Trevor Giles.
In the first period of extra time, Kildare stormed ahead, scoring a goal and 3 points.
Now, 2-1, but that one is Martin O'Connell, and he's lost it. And there's a goal chance, and it's got in. Oh, goal for Kildare by Willie McCreary.
But in the second period of extra time, it was all Meath. Jody Devine scored 3 of their 6 points to leave the sides level, and then scored this point to put Meath ahead with time almost up. But there was still time for one last push from Kildare.
The referee is giving Kildare this kick. Niall Buckley goes for a big one. It's gone in. And over the bar! They're level in Croke Park.
Mayo could not have had a tougher first challenge in their quest to retain the Connacht title. They faced Galway in Tuam, where they had not beaten their rivals in a championship game since 1951. Mayo got the perfect start.
They go short this time, and the kick-outs here for Galway, just keep an eye on them. They'll be very vital. They try to keep it away from the big man, but who's got it? McHale in for KC. Nice ball inside, here's a glorious chance, and Mayo score! The man with the goal touch has done it. PJ Loftus making it 1-1 to no score. Well, only 2.5 minutes gone. Liam McHale held in possession by O'Donnell, free very quickly taken, and look where James Nallen is, chased by the other number 6. Well, this is Val Daly's man way up at the attack, laying it off for Maurice Sheridan, and he puts it lazily over the bar. A third point for Maurice Sheridan, and it's 1-3 to no score.
9 minutes into the game, Mayo had scored 1 goal and 4 points. Galway had yet to score. But Galway did wake up, and with the help of Neil Finnegan, who scored 5 points, the gap between the teams was reduced to just 1 coming up to half-time. There was one more score before half-time, and the man who got it was the Galway player-manager, Val Daly, to level the match at 1-6 to 9 points. Galway at one stage, 7 points down in the game, were now 2 points up after Neil Finnegan's point 9 minutes into the second half. But in a 20-minute spell of play, Mayo regained control of the game, scoring 9 points. Galway only replied with 2.
Again, the Mayo forwards pressurising here. Inevitably, it's Casey in the thick of the action. Back here towards PJ Loftus. And it's gone over the bar. Pat Fallon trying to turn inside. Swung around there by O'Donnell. Fallon between the posts and over the bar. And in the second half, Mayo have looked like the champions that they are. Champions of Connacht.
The final score of the game was from Galway's Neil Finnegan. It brought his personal tally to 9 in all, but it was Mayo who came out the winners on a final score of Mayo 1 goal 16 points, Galway no goals and 15. Mayo had a lot to thank Maurice Sheridan for. He scored 7 frees and 1 point from play. In the Connacht semi-final, Mayo faced Leitrim, who needed extra time to overcome London at Ruislip. 15 minutes into the match, Leitrim had a lead of 2 points to 1 after this Declan Darcy converted free. But it was Leitrim's last score of the half. Mayo, on the other hand, went about building a 6-point cushion by half-time.
Dermot Byrne over towards James Horn. As Mayo play keep ball, John Casey with the kick, and that's a great kick by any standards or any stretch of imagination.
Maurice Sheridan was to score 6 frees during this game. This one, 7 minutes into the second half, left the score Mayo 11, Leitrim 2. Leitrim hadn't scored for 29 minutes. Declan Darcy stopped the rout.
And Leitrim go into the attack immediately. And it's gone off as Benny Guckian as Declan Darcy floats that over the bar.
This was the first championship season for promising new forward Kieran MacDonald, and midway through the second half he scored his 4th point of the game.
Dermot Byrne back to Kieran MacDonald. He got the first point after 11 minutes into the game, and he's got his 4th point now 21 minutes into the second half.
Within a minute of coming in as a sub, PJ Loftus scored a point to give Mayo a 10-point lead with 5 minutes left to play. Shortly after that, there were a couple of sendings off because of a difference of opinion physically on the playing field. Leitrim scored 3 points before the end to lead the final score Mayo 18 points, Leitrim 11. Mayo were in another Connacht final. Mayo's opponents in that final was Sligo, who produced one of the shocks of the year by beating Roscommon in the other Connacht semi-final. Mayo may have been surprised that underdogs Sligo were their opponents in the final, but it didn't affect training. It was as tough as ever.
You're involved in sport at this level, and I'm sure it's the same for every manager in the country. It dominates your life because you're at it 4 nights a week, training 4 nights a week, and the days you're not, you're actually training in your own mind, preparing teams, picking teams, and you're sleeping and dreaming. I scribble and I dream, and Tommy O'Malley, one of my selectors, and Peter are great scribblers. Like, I mean, they arrive with the notes and scribble down teams. But it's a little exercise we do throughout the year as well, travelling back from matches in the winter time, pick your championship team and lock it away and pull it out again before a match or something. And it's a fantastic little exercise, and it's amazing how wrong one can be.
Sligo, a young team, a forward line all under 23, was not given much chance against Mayo in the final, but as it turned out, they almost caused another shock. John Maughan, banned from the touchline for the final, watched the game from behind the wire as Mayo built up a 4-point lead by half-time.
MacDonald, front of the post. The first point of the Connacht final. Coming through the middle is Liam McHale. Outside is Maurice Sheridan, and that is going over the bar.
Although Mayo had more of the possession, they went 24 minutes into the second half without a single score from play. It was Maurice Sheridan's accurate free taking that kept them ahead of Sligo. When David Nestor did score a point from play, Mayo were leading 11-5, 10 minutes left. The Connacht title looked destined to be retained by Mayo, but in the final 4 minutes of the game, Hyde Park came alive as Sligo produced a real late burst to rock the Connacht champions.
Good work by Eamon O'Hara. Taking a shot, and that is sailing between the crossbar, or sailing between the posts and over the crossbar. Comes back to Brendan Kilcoyne. This is centre half back Nigel Clancy trying to burst his way through. He goes down. The referee has not blown his whistle. Here's a chance, and the ball is in the back of the net. Sligo have finally found gold. Kieran MacDonald and Neil Carew. Carew wins the exchanges to David Durkin, and Sligo come forward. Can they do a Clare against Cork job with a last minute winner? Eamon O'Hara. Hyde Park is alive. Now the people are standing on their feet for the first time. To Paul Durkin, going for the point. He floats it in, and it's gone over. That is pure magic from the county of Sligo.
Sligo so close to forcing a draw. Mayo very relieved that their All-Ireland aspirations were still alive. The final score at Hyde Park, Mayo 11 points, Sligo 1 goal and 7, the minimum winning margin. So Kerry and Mayo had booked their semi-final places, but who would their opponents be? In Ulster, the provincial final was contested between Cavan and many people's favourite for the All-Ireland, Derry. 33,000 witnessed a great game of football in Clones, and there was little between the teams for most of the game. They were level at half-time, and with 23 minutes played in the second half, they were still level, 14 points each. Kieran McKeever put Derry in the lead shortly after that, but it was substitute Jason Riley who got the decisive score of the game.
Up to Peter Riley. Peter goes looking for his brother inside. It's Damien O'Reilly. Damien O'Reilly gets it over to Jason Riley. Jason Riley.
Just when you thought Cavan was out of it, Peter Riley, a long ball. The hop suits Damien Riley, he shows his strength here. Beats Johnny McBride, looks around, Jason Riley slips it under the keeper. Terrific score.
Cavan won by 1 point in the end, and Stephen King, a long-time servant of Cavan football, lifted the trophy. Cavan were once again the Ulster champions for the first time since 1969. The Leinster Championship, so often dominated by either Dublin or Meath, had a different look about it in 1997. The big two met in the first round, so the opportunity for other counties to reach a Leinster final were better than ever. That honour fell to Offaly, who won through from the top half of the draw. In the final, they did meet the All-Ireland champions Meath, who had come through a gruelling 3-match test against Kildare. The final will always be remembered for the 3 goals Offaly scored on their way to dethroning the All-Ireland champions.
The kick out has put Meath in trouble again. Again, it's Colm Quinn. Nice ball ahead towards Warren Malone. Here's the goal chance. He's got it! What a start for Offaly! Roy Malone! A goal after 10 minutes. Sensational start. Here's Sean Brennan. Support play there from Vinnie Claffey. Offaly coming again. And they've got another one. Claffey with a second goal for Offaly. And Meath are in desperate trouble. Nicely inside here. Malone goes forward. A gap opens up, looking for his second goal of the match. Brilliant stuff by Roy Malone. That may now put a final wedge between these teams. It's in the 17th minute of the second half.
So the semi-final lineup was Offaly versus Mayo and Kerry versus Cavan, who were meeting 50 years after they met in the All-Ireland final played in New York in 1947.
Ollie MacDonald has possession. Oh, that's an easy, great ball. Oh, superb. Carl O'Hanlon.
Peter Duffy getting inside O'Neill, the fullback. He's in on goal. Here's a chance. Beauty! Absolute beauty!
And that's a good ball to Stephen O'Brien. Nemo combined. Martin Cronin back to Stephen O'Brien. Blocked, half blocked. It's a goal for Cork.
Roy Malone for Offaly against Hugh Kenny. Slipped through by Malone to Billy Catley, who gives it to Peter Brady.
Here comes Paul Curran, son of a Meath man. Still Paul Curran, great pace. Nice layout outside Desi Farrell, inside the keeper. This is what they need!
Brian Murphy, the Cork man, to Willie McCreary going forward. Back to Brian Murphy. Goal!
Fergal McCusker, the full back of the All-Ireland win 4 years ago. And it's right in and it's right through and it's Joe Brolly! Trainer inside the chair, Gagan. Take it out of that! Great goal!
Kevin O'Brien. Lovely turn by Kevin O'Brien. That was sheer class as he slipped his marker. Kevin O'Brien on a powerful rock. Will he go for a goal? There are two challenges coming in.
And towards the big man, up goes Matty McLean with a punch. It's in the net. Darnan deep towards Downey. What a game he's had. Gives it back to Dugan. Ready to score a goal. Flicks it through to Brawley. An opportunity for Brawley. Gets in front of the goal. And that was simple and it was perfect. And well may he celebrate. Big man, he has it.
Going for goal!
Matty McLean.
Up to Ollie Murphy it comes. Tripped, still goes forward as well to hold his balance. And he's put it in the back of the net.
In possession, the captain of Derry gives it away. And breaking through here now from half back to Donnelly again. And what a shot!
It's Jody Levine nicely inside here to Jimmy McGuinness.
And it's Ronan Carroll. Will he go for the goal? Oh, yes! Oh, what a goal! On the 24th of August, Kerry and Cavan paraded around Croke Park before the first All-Ireland semi-final. A new experience for the Cavan team, but Kerry had been there last year when they were well beaten by Mayo. But they were out to do better this time.
After last year's Munster final, there was a number of celebrations that were undertaken, and I suppose it was hard not to get involved in them because we had beaten Cork the first time in 10 years. And that meant an awful lot to the people of Kerry, and to Kerry football. And I think the players and ourselves, you know, we probably got a small bit caught up in the euphoria, though, a lot of it. After this year's Munster final, there was no celebrations. I think there was one night and that was it. And players got back into training the following Wednesday. Whereas last year we took a week off. This year we went straight back into it. And I think that was very, very important to get back and you know, to be focused about what was ahead of us.
Remind me of that interview you said you heard me doing.
Oh, yes. You gave an interview, I think it was at the launch of your videotape of the 101 greatest scores. And you said the team that will beat Cavan will win the All-Ireland. And you were very, very taken away by Cavan. You thought that they were a very, very well prepared team. They had a very, very good manager. And I took all that on board, and I said, well, now we'll just have to work a little bit harder. Maybe you got me going, maybe, Jimmy.
The occasion itself was a tremendous occasion. The colour, the atmosphere above in Croke Park was absolutely fabulous, and just something that I will always remember. The game itself, we were well tuned into it, and I think on the particular day, while people said that the Kerry team didn't reach any major heights as it were in performance, we were very pleased with the way things went for us.
Seamus Moynihan, that's the switch mentioned a little earlier. Coming strongly through the centre here. O'Dwyer going down to fetch. Still Dennis O'Dwyer. And fending the range impressively. So 2 points coming from play for Kerry. And just about 2 attacks.
Great move by Seamus Moynihan, won the kick out, gave it to Dennis O'Dwyer, a lot of open ground in front of him, and showed that he's not afraid to go for his own score from long range.
This is Paul O'Dowd having another excellent year. Derek McCabe trying to win that kick out there, but it's boxed away by Darragh O'Shea. Hassett inside for Lade, reminiscent of his move against Clare. This time he fists it over the bar. First chance in the match for Pa Lade, and that was a wonderful sweeping move.
At the time when it opened up, I suppose I had the chance to shoot if I had a right leg, but we were told going out before the game to box cleverly and to take away our scores at the time, and that's what I did. I suppose at the time I could have gone for a goal, but I think a point was probably a better option.
Just 1 from 3 frees so far, but this is from the position where he pointed his second. Once again, Ronan Carolan. Nicely over. Keeping the Ulster champions very much in touch. He really is a very good place kicker, and it's 3 points to 2. McCabe and O'Shea, and McCabe fisting it away from Darragh O'Shea into space, and here comes his midfield ally. Stephen King has options. Outside he goes towards Larry Riley, and Larry has put it over the bar, and they're level. Larry Riley's first point. Interesting, that one, from the kick out, from McCabe's fist, from Stephen King's distribution. It's 3-all. Tactics playing a major role in the game so far, each side more or less cancelling one another out. Stephen King, the fireworks yet to happen. King inside for Ronan Carroll. This might be the first time we see those fireworks. Great save! Brady beaten for it. Wonderful save by Declan O'Keefe. Peter Riley had that wonderful chance. Picked up here in middle of the field again by Bernard Morris. Down towards Damien O'Reilly. Fintan Cowell was calling to the left. Instead it's on to Ronan Carolan. A gap opens up for him. Goes for the shot himself, and he has blazed it over the bar. He had support there with Larry Riley, but perhaps it was the sensible thing to do in that particular instance. His 3rd point of the match.
Well, Kerry backs are all at sea here. Ronan Carolan again could have gone for a goal. Picks a sensible thing at this stage, kicks it over the bar.
There's tremendous pace here. Damien O'Reilly trying to come through, stopped. Sean Burke standing over him there, getting the free kick. Not a very good kick out by Burke, picked up by Dermot McCabe again. Now it's Peter Riley. Back to McCabe on his trusty left boot that sails over the bar impressively. First point of the match. He's got a wonderful left boot. Hit truly and accurately, and Cavan stretched their lead to 2 points. This to put one between them. The jeering is coming from the fans of the Ulster champions. Maurice Fitzgerald will silence those fans. His first point in this match. An accurately struck free kick. And it's 6 points to 5. Carolan going long this time in towards Larry Riley. Trying to steal in behind Stephen Stack. And the wily number 2, Stephen Stack, retrieves that situation. A player who was playing for Kerry here against Dublin as far back as 1987 in a league final, I seem to remember. Darrow Canada picking out William Kirby. Lazily hit a head, beautiful pass into the chest there of Brian Clark. And the attack just breaks down. He was hoping to link up with Darrow Canada. Maurice Fitzgerald, good hands, holds onto it well. Tormenting Farrelly in this instance. Onto the left foot, that's a wonderful score. And Kerry have equalised through Maurice Fitzgerald's second point.
Some beautiful scores from play by Kerry here. Maurice Fitzgerald sells the dummy on his right, cuts inside Terry Farrelly. Not much any cornerback can do when you have a man like that.
And there, of course, Billy O'Shea from Lown Rangers. A long delay here while Dennis O'Dwyer, who hit one memorable point against Clare, gets the attention.
Yeah, you'd think in a situation like this, Jared, it's safer to take the player off. He's after having a terrible fall on the ground. It looks as if Kerry are going to substitute him.
So O'Shea comes in and O'Dwyer goes off.
I remember coming on just before half time, and I said to myself, don't let this game pass you by like the game did last year, because it just went over my head last year, and I know it did happen for a number of other players as well. So it's just a matter of kind of, grabbing the bull by the horns and taking every chance, when it availed of itself. And thankfully, it went very well that day. But you can always make things happen if you want to, and that day it just worked well.
Back it comes towards Darrow O'Shea. Now Billy O'Shea. Towards Darrow Canada. Struggling a bit to get into this match. That's a great ball ahead. I think Eamon Breen fancies another goal here. He's put it over the bar. Might have a goal and a point. Has to be content with just the point. 2 between them. Play continues, and that's Bernard Morris. Strongly determined fellow. Dermot McCabe once again here. The hand pass back towards Philip Kermit. Met the shoulder there of Palaid. Out to Jerry Sheridan. Larry Riley. Getting there ahead of his man being Stephen Stack. Lovely transfer. Fintan Cahill. He's goaled! In the 5th minute of injury time. Delighted Cavan fans see their side go back in front. Fintan Cahill, the goal scorer. Kerry denied at one end, but there was no denying Fintan Cahill at the other.
Cavan a point up at half-time, and as the teams took their break, into Croke Park arrived a young bride and groom who had flown by helicopter from their wedding reception to watch the second half.
Kerma. going ambitiously towards Terry Farrelly, but that's an awful ball. He's given it straight to Palaid. Maurice Fitzgerald's up there in his support. This is Fitzgerald going by Jerry Sheridan off the goalkeeper's hands and over the bar. Maurice Fitzgerald with 5 points now in this match. I think he got 8 last year against Mayo on a disappointing afternoon for the Kingdom. Very much their leader. Billy O'Shea. A good block that time, but Peter Riley fisted down by Liam Hassett into space. Fitzgerald chasing after there in the company of Terry Farrelly. Just booked, of course. Oh, right across his own goal mouth. Kieran Brady. At times the Cavan backs living so terribly dangerously. Confirmation then of that change by Cavan. Their first of the match. Fintan Cahill is back there, trying to get that ball away. Comes in for Billy O'Shea. On to Maurice Fitzgerald. This is looking dangerous. This time he makes no mistake. His 6th point. Just over 8 minutes gone in the second half. Cavan yet to score in this half. Their goal coming 5 minutes into injury time, end of the first. That's Larry Riley, on to Damien O'Reilly, continuing to play as a front man this afternoon. Challenged back there. Fed inside by Damien O'Reilly again, towards Ronan Carolan. Nice ball inside, Fintan Cahill getting loose and finding the range superbly. A goal and a point now by Fintan Cahill, also of the Coo Collins club. Here's Stephen King, their team captain, driving it back out, and it comes for Jason Riley. 4 Rileys on the field right now. Jason Riley trying to advance against Barry O'Shea. Referee says play away. Damien O'Reilly still going forward. The Cavan attack causing problems when they get decent possession. It's Damien O'Reilly's first point. And so the sides are once again level here. And so Michael Francis Russell, who has tremendous pace, will come in to replace the number 14. And straight away he's going to be marked by Kieran Brady.
Yes, I think that's a good move by Kerry. Brian Clark was struggling there, even though he did create that piece of magic in the first half. But Kieran Brady has had much the better of him, has had a very solid game for Cavan so far, but will find Michael Francis Russell a much different type of player.
So 13 minutes into the second half here. Nothing to choose between these teams. Eamon Breen. Liam Hassett waited for it to come his way. The kick into space towards Darragh Kennedy. He's got a loose man just ahead of him. Picks him off very well indeed. Here's William Kirby, trying to thread it through there towards Billy O'Shea. Looking for the chance, gets the opportunity and takes his score. Billy O'Shea's first. Back here in the venue where he starred for Lown Rangers a few years ago in the All-Ireland Club Championships. Martin McHugh here, who has done tremendously well to take his side through to win the Ulster Championship for the first time since 1969. It's been a long wait, but now can they go one step further? Great catch by Darragh O'Shea, nicely in for Palaid. This is an exciting spell by the Kerry forwards. As we say, that nearly breaks down. Maurice Fitzgerald back again here. Peter Riley trying to regain possession. Likewise Terry Farrelly into Billy O'Shea. Maurice Fitzgerald, great block down there by Peter Riley. Comes back to Billy O'Shea, steadied himself, and that's 2 in the space of about a minute now by Billy O'Shea. And they'll have to be a great deal tighter on him. Remember his marker is Peter Riley. He made that wonderful block just moments ago. It's going well for P. Shea and his backroom team. Really busy midfield, and Maurice Fitzgerald's gone out there just to try and get some decent possession into Michael Francis Russell. This could be it. A goal, Kerry. Scored by Michael Francis Russell. 5 minutes from time. Delight among the Kerry following. There's no doubting the validity of this particular goal. the youngster who has a very bright future in senior football, may have done it for the Kingdom.
A tremendous fielding, first of all, by Maurice Fitzgerald, and a brilliant pass in. And of course, Cavan backs now beginning to get tired. Michael Francis Russell with the pace to get in front of Philip Kermott, who has struggled all afternoon. A brilliant finish.
He took it in splendidly, found the gap. Kerry looking like they are about to book their place in a first All-Ireland football final for 11 years, which is an awful long time if you're a county with the tradition of Kerry. And one of the men who's made it for them there this afternoon, Michael Francis Russell, with that crucial second half goal. That's taken out there by Philip Smith. The referee says you fouled the ball. Some of the players puzzled by some of the decisions. This is back in here for Michael Francis, back to Billy O'Shea, to Maurice Fitzgerald. And cool as you like, he slots it over the bar. His 7th point of the afternoon. A very good afternoon's work by a wonderful footballer. Dermot McCabe had some very good moments in the first half, but by and large Cavan had to give way during the second. This is Cahill looking for a second goal, and the outstretched boot of Declan O'Keefe diverts that one out. Cavan were unlucky. Damien O'Reilly has it back to Raymond Cunningham. Again they go blazing this one off the post and back down to William Kirby. Oof, nervy moments for Kerry football fans, but they have this comfortable lead of 6 points. Could have been down to 3. That's a great ball by Maurice Fitzgerald, nicely inside and tapped over the bar once again by our goal scorer Michael Francis Russell. A goal and a point, and he is now firmly staking his case, I think, for inclusion in Páidí O'Shea's All-Ireland final team. We're in the final seconds of this. It's all over, I think. 117 to 110. Kerry there. They have beaten the game Cavan men.
You varied your game too, because you can play close passing with the best of them, but you varied with the long ball game. So it's an overall.
Yeah, we did, Jimmy. We had an advantage in playing the long ball because we had a very strong physical presence in our forward line. You know, for a good part of the year we had Brian Clark, who was a good target man, Morris and Dara Kineda, and they were all very, very good over their heads catching the ball. You know, and then on the half forward line there, Dennis Dwyer, Pal Aid and Liam Hassett, they were great workers. They, they tackled back. They came down to their own defence and they hassled and tackled, and that was great.
There was a huge Offaly following at Croke Park to cheer on their team against Mayo in the second semi-final. But they had little to cheer about in the early stages. In wet, slippery conditions, Mayo were totally dominant, and although they shot many wides, they did score 6 points without reply.
James Horan booted ahead towards David Nestor, causing problems. Cahill Daly, his marker, just there, and he knocks it over the bar. James Horan setting one up here for the flying Fergal Costello. That's a wonderful kick.
Offaly were allowed very little possession in the first 23 minutes, but the breakthrough finally came for them in the 24th.
Good pace here, nicely inside. Should be the first score, and it is eventually, and it's Colin Quinn who's got it.
Offaly's second point came from David Reynolds, a converted free. The gap only 4 points, which was incredible considering Mayo's dominance. Maurice Sheridan did increase that to 5 in the dying seconds of the half. Half-time score, Mayo 7 points, Offaly 3 points. Within a minute of the restart, goal-scoring hero of the Leinster final, Roy Malone, had this chance to score a goal again. In the next attack, Peter Brady scored a great point.
Colin McMenamin in there, drops it down. Offaly trying to steal a march. Roy Malone back there towards Peter Brady. Over his right shoulder he was kicking that time, and that's a wonderful point. One man who certainly can inspire this Offaly team is Peter Brady from Eton Derry.
But the Offaly momentum soon died. Over the next 8 minutes, the teams only scored a point each from threes, but then Kieran MacDonald got a couple of scores for Mayo.
In towards Kevin O'Neill, difficult one for him to take, comes back down here. Heaney to MacDonald. Kieran MacDonald getting inside. Barry Malone trying to get back goal side. The shot has gone over the bar. This is a wonderful spell for Kieran MacDonald.
Mayo now led by 6 points. Fergal Costello was having a great game, as were the other Mayo backs. And Offaly's full forward line got only one score in the whole match. However, the Mayo forwards were squandering chances, and going into the last 5 minutes of the game, they only led by 4 points.
Nicely in for David Nestor, getting away from Cathal Daly. He's caused problems for Daly. Nestor still going forward, taking lots and lots of steps. The final kick has gone over the bar.
That point was followed soon after by a Maurice Sheridan converted free. It left the final score, Mayo 13 points, Offaly 7 points. Offaly's great season was over. They had a lot to be proud of after starting the season in Division 4 of the league. Mayo were in a second All-Ireland final back-to-back.
When getting to an All-Ireland final is what it was all about today, and to beat Offaly, whether it was 1 point, 6 points, or whether it was a good game or a bad game, that's the result we have today, you know.
Jimmy, I'm absolutely delighted. You know, for a Mayo man to get into 2 All-Ireland finals consecutively is not very common.
It's Fintan Carl, he's inside Paddy McGuinness, here's the scoring chance. He lays it on to Jason Riley, it's a brilliant save. Absolutely great body save there by Cormac McAdam.
Mark O'Reilly has left it behind, Willie McCreary into McCormack, here's a chance. Oh, and that was one they really needed, it's gone out for a 45. It was oh so close. Excellent work there by Conor Martin.
Matty McLean comes off his marker, and again the ball goes down. That's good work by McLean. Canavan on the edge of the square, and he's a lot of space. He's left his marker. Canavan's in the square. Can he get the goal? He must get it now. Great save. That's a fantastic save by Benny Tierney. And well may Armagh celebrate.
Jody Devine. Dublin chasing after him. It's Paddy Christie is, but here's Devine. Stopped by John O'Leary.
Ryan Doer, he's in for a goal. Oh, a brilliant save by McVeigh. Wonderful goalkeeping by Mickey McVeigh.
He's just going to have to drive this ball in towards the square of the goal. They get the punches off the bar. Comes back to McBride.
Seamus McDonald gets a great flick, but what a fingertip save by Mickey McVeigh. He certainly keeps down in the game. That's 2 terrific saves already.
Damien Ryan fouled. Free allows the advantage. She gets as far as Dennis Lawler. Good run by Lawler. Shooting it in. Oh dear. If Christy Byrne got a touch to it, that was the save of the year. It was flying. Here's Lawler. He went for it big time. He got a deflection here. And brilliant save by Christy Byrne.
It drops down here to the substitute. A great save. Great body save by Glenn Murphy. If he doesn't do another thing in this game, he's earned his crust there.
Brendan Kilcoyne. Ball more in hope than anything else. But they haven't. Here's a chance. Oh, saved on the line.
It was a tremendous save actually initially by Peter Burke.
It's Roper for Donegal. Now it's the chance for Donegal for Tony Boyle. And a brilliant save by Paul O'Dowd from James Ruan. And it ain't over yet. Ruan again. And O'Dowd again. Fantastic goalkeeping by Paul O'Dowd. The keeper read it so well. A terrific play. And away goes Gary McGill bearing down, thinking of goal. And Paul O'Dowd, maybe the best shot saver in the country. I haven't seen a better shot saver this season. 28th of September 1997, All-Ireland Day. The moment of truth had arrived. 11 years without an All-Ireland victory was the longest gap that Kerry had endured this century. For Mayo, no taste of All-Ireland success for 46 years. Could they do it this year, remembering that they lost 2 goals at the final in 1996?
It's a hackneyed word, a hackneyed expression, pressure. But there's no doubt it must have been on you, because everyone was talking about you. If Maurice Fitz does the business, Kerry will, and all that. Tell me how you felt about it.
Well, I usually pass on all the pressure onto what I would call the man they call the coach here, Kieran McCarthy, who's sitting across the room from me. He handles most of the pressure for me. I don't particularly feel a lot of the pressure. I'm enjoying the game too much. And the media, or so-called media, would put a lot of pressure on particular players, but we were a very focused team this year, and I think it's a lot of credit must go to Seamus McGarrett and Paddy Shade, the way they had the team prepared. I don't think any individual players were receiving any extra pressure. Perhaps the media had put it on them, but we certainly didn't feel it within the squad. I was just very excited about the prospect of playing the All-Ireland, to be perfectly honest, and it was something I had always dreamed about and hoped for as a boy growing up, and to me it was a dream for Phil to go up and play in an All-Ireland final.
An awful lot of the players were under an amount of pressure from the Kerry team of the 70s, and it was important for them to win in All-Ireland. And I had told them that one thing that they weren't going to take into this year's All-Ireland, that they weren't going to take the burden of the 12 years or the 11 years that Kerry were without an All-Ireland. That's what they were going to take into the All-Ireland final, was what they put into them themselves personally, and that they were going to leave their own mark on the game. That was very essential. They responded to that.
You didn't read, watch, nor listen.
I think it was the week before the All-Ireland on a Saturday. We went up for a meeting with the media prior to a training session at 2 o'clock on a Saturday in Killarney, and I spoke for maybe 2.5 hours, and after that I didn't read or hear or see of any single thing before the match. No, General.
Just before you went out, who were you listening to? What could you hear, or what did Paddy say?
Paddy went through, he talked about the backs, your job, midfielder job, forwards had a job to do. Very calmly told us what to do. And we were tuned in, we were ready to go, and he just gave us one good shout before we went out in the field, and that was it. There wasn't too much shouting and roaring, he doesn't go in for that. He just tells you what to do and be right in the head. If you're tuned in right, it'll all come for you on the day.
I don't think any of the boys were nervous beforehand. I think we were very focused, very in tune, and our bodies were fine. It was all a matter of how we were going to react to the day. And I remember going around the parade, and everybody was, there was a nice nod amongst the players, and everybody was well in tune, all right.
Declan O'Keefe with the kick out for Kerry. No score on the board, 3 minutes played. The Sam Maguire Cup is up for grabs today for the 70th time. Of the previous 69, Kerry have won 1/3. Darragh O'Shea. Dermot Flanagan got enough on it, but he's limping pretty badly. James Nallen inside to Kennelly. Kennelly's only about 11 stone, but he takes a great shoulder. Pat Holmes for Mayo. Down between McDonald and Stephen Stack. Stack got the knockdown. Burns. Programme numbers meaning nothing, but that's the modern game. Billy O'Shea lets Pal Laid away. Maurice Fitzgerald pulls wide to give him room, and Laid goes for it. It's over the bar. 4 minutes gone. Kerry have opened the scoring. A lovely move. Billy O'Shea and Pal Laid, the creators, and Pal Laid, the scorer.
Yes, a terrific score by Pal Laid. On his trusty left foot decided to shoot himself. But a terrific score. And it doesn't look as if Dermot Flanagan's going to stay on this pitch.
I think Dermot is gone. They're already getting a substitute ready, the Mayo men. A possibility of Brian Heffernan maybe coming in, but it's James Horan. James Horan is coming in now. This is one that'll have to be sorted out, but Dermot Flanagan has gone off. The man who's the father, Sean, Captain Mayo, when the last they won it in 1951 and again 1950. Eamon Breen here for Kerry. Nice and steady, playing diagonally to get the space available to send Willie Kirby on it. Kirby into the team captain Liam Hassett. Getting by Allen. He's a strong man, Allen. He's hard to bypass. That's Darragh O'Shea in possession. The strong man on him there is not strong enough to stop him. Colin McManaman. Darragh O'Shea has scored for Kerry. 5 minutes gone, and Kerry are beginning to win the midfield battle. Dermot Flanagan there. Already has the ice on the hamstring, and this is the great Maurice. Maurice Fitzgerald, 19 points in this championship of 1997. He makes it just all look so easy. He has the most gentle gliding free kick you could imagine. Pat Fallon Mayo, Barry O'Shea, Liam O'Flaherty, Billy O'Shea, his markers Costello, inside O'Cadeda, back to, and Billy O'Shea got a heavy knock.
I just made a dashing run for the ball, and just as I got down, Maurice said leave it, and he pulled it, and I think as Des Cahill said, it's amazing my leg didn't go over the bar at the point of impact. But it was just a complete accident. You know, it happened so fast.
Did you know it was broken?
Straight away, yeah. I heard it first, and I put down the head, and I couldn't move it. And then whatever way I moved myself up, I looked down and I could see that the leg was slightly distorted, and there was blood from the open wound where the bone had come out.
I knew immediately that he was in trouble. I heard the crack and everything from his leg, and I was very upset immediately after, and I actually kind of walked away. I tried to tackle a Mayo fella, but it was really just to get my mind away from Billy at that particular second. I went back to him, and I couldn't believe how focused and charged that he was, even though he was in tremendous pain. He just turned to me and he just said, look, there's nothing you can do about it, keep your head up and keep going.
He was all apologies. He couldn't believe what had happened. You know, he said, I'm so sorry, I don't know what's after happening like this. And I just said to him, despite what the press were saying, you know, win it for me, this kind of thing, I never said anything like that. I just simply said, look, I'm fine, don't worry about it, go back, play the game, and just go out and win that game. I said basically like that, you know. But this thing about go out and win it for me, and you know, this hero thing, I never said anything like that.
What about that? A wonderful point by the best kicker of a ball, left foot or right foot in the game. Would you argue with that, Ger?
You certainly couldn't argue with that, Jimmy. That's right in the corner. It's not his natural foot, and he strokes it effortlessly over the bar. What a score.
It's hard to believe we have 23 minutes on the clock. Not all of it has been filled with football, mind you, and Mayo have not scored. This free kick is from 46 metres. Maurice Sheridan to take it. He takes his time. Kicked it well and kicks it over the bar. And Mayo have opened their scoring in the 23rd minute. And their top marksman from the free kick, Maurice Sheridan.
Yes, eventually Moore's got one. It's a super kick, 46 metres out, and strokes it over the bar.
Declan O'Keefe's kick out. Kerry have won a lot of ball around there. Kirby was the one who got that one. And he and O'Shea have forged a nice partnership. Costello. Kenneth Mortimer Mayo. Good turn by Mortimer. But a dangerous place to be playing ball. James Horan jabbing it forward. Lee McHale, we've seen so little of in this game. Wasted, Mayo fans might say. Stuck in at full forward. Eamon Breen here for Kerry. James Nallen is favoured to get it, but he's beaten by Maurice Fitzgerald. Heaney Mayo. Fallon. Heaney comes, calls for the 1-2. Nallen goes in instead and fills that gap. Nallen to Horan. Nice move this by Mayo. James Horan. getting away from O'Flaherty. Terrific play by Horn. Now, can he get on Kieran MacDonald? The little shimmy gets by Stack behind a Horn. A lot of ball play, no end product. And a free out to Kerry. Great defending by Kerry. Absolutely denying him any chance. Eamon Breen, Kerry. John Crawley. Maurice Fitzgerald. I think there's a word called wonderful. Maurice Fitzgerald is the rest of it. This is Maurice Sheridan, 24 years old. Paddy O'Shea up on the line. Mayo have made a switch, more and on. Here's Sheridan. Over the bar. It's all very nervous for Mayo. And Liam McHale has been brought to his best position, centre field. Liam McHale is centre field for Mayo. Khaled has got through a notion of work on this side for Kerry. He's by Fallon. He's by Sheridan. Sheridan took a heavy knock then, and it looks like his leg might be gone as well in a hamstring for him. This is Khaled. He's in for a left foot shot. Now it's back to the right. He has to take his punch point. Khaled the scorer, his second point of the game, and Kerry certainly on top. That's a strong challenge there, Moynihan on McManaman. Not too many men stop McManaman in his tracks. Kerry again. Dennis O'Dwyer wanted it inside. Here's Morris curling it in. A magnificent point. Pat Holmes, James Nallon Mayo, Liam McHale, opening it out, giving them a bit of width. This is David Nestor. Blocked down the goal and well taken out by Kerry. Eamon Breen, look at how quickly he made up 60, 70 metres and turned the whole course of that Mayo attack. Dennis O'Dwyer. Won by McManaman. Good little run from here by their captain, Noel Kennelly. Kennelly goes inside here, looking to see if he can get anything off Horn. And over the bar it goes. Maurice Sheridan the scorer. And Maurice Sheridan, I think, is in hamstring trouble.
Yes, he seems to be hobbling very badly, Jimmy. He was actually right in there. Kerry, I think, left it for the goalkeeper. But Maurice Sheridan is slug in the back. I don't think he lost. Can't see him coming out for the second half.
James Nallon the knock down to McManaman. Stephen Stack playing a stormer at cornerback. William Kirby. Won there by Fergal Costello. Back to Kirby. Dennis O'Dwyer. Free kick to Kerry. That means another little chore for Maurice Fitzgerald. There's the Mayo back row, Tommy O'Malley in the red, black and white with John Mong and Peter Ford. It should be mere child's play for Maurice Fitzgerald. That's exactly what it is. It's his fifth point of the half. Liam O'Flaherty giving it plenty of air. It's half time. Well, the referee looks as if he's blowing. Nobody's paying any attention. It's Maurice Fitzgerald, and now he is blowing. So it's half time at Croke Park. The man in the picture has scored 5 times, and as well as that, he's on his way to the man of the match. The half time score: Kerry no goals and 8 points, Mayo no goals and 3 points.
We came in at half time, and there was a good few people hanging around. I think Paddy threw them all out from what I remember. And he sat down, he told us to relax, and he came back into us then, and he said that we have to keep playing the way we are. He said Mayo are going to come back at us, but we have to be prepared for what's around the corner. He told us keep playing the same way, and that's what we did, and it paid off for us.
That's basically Paddy's talk. He just says he doesn't go into any spectacular talk about tactics or anything. It's down to every man to beat his man, and he just tells the forwards to express themselves, and they have the talent to do it and just express themselves. The backs, they have a different job to do. They have to stop their man from scoring, and that's basically the job at the end of the day.
Big jumping at midfield. Nobody with it though. Kind of parlayed, one of Kerry's best today. Getting away from Noel Kennelly. He's given Kennelly a tough time of it this afternoon. And a lovely cross by Laird. And what a piece of goalkeeping by Peter Burke. There are a few facets to that save. To keep his eye on the ball, to dropping it so quickly. And that may uplift the spirits of this entire Connacht Championship side. Pat Fallon getting by Darragh O'Shea. Up to me. Oh, great piece of defensive play by Liam O'Flaherty. That was terrific. Dennis O'Dwyer. William Kirby. Maurice Fitzgerald. Gently jabbing it forward to Kirby again. William Kirby met with a heavy, hard shoulder charge, which is construed as a foul by the referee. Ger Houlihan had written down the scores before he took it.
Well, he had to take it for granted when Morris was about.
Kerry have made a switch. John Crowley's come centre half forward. Liam Hassels, the captain, has gone right corner forward. Green, the wing back who loves to attack. Out to Maurice Fitzgerald, nearest Mayo player Pat Holmes. Maurice Fitzgerald is adorning this All-Ireland final. He's never had a chance to play in one before. Goodness, what a personal performance. The break's not coming Mayo's way when they most need them. O'Shea, the fullback, did well. Got it to William Kirby. Kirby down between Holmes and Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, the beautiful knockdown to Crowley. And again Burke. Good save, Burke. John O'Leary was saying recently, it's amazing the number of forwards who try to drive the ball through the goalkeeper rather than trying to side him on it. But still a fine save. Mayo. Quick counter-attack. McManaman in around the goal. And Barry O'Shea rising to the occasion. And that time was Killian Burns for Kerry. Out to Kirby. Mayo not finding the men, and John Crowley is finding it over the bar. And Kerry on another roll. And quite frankly, it's difficult to see who's going to throw the lifeline to Mayo. John Maughan, the Mayo manager, to whom can I turn? It's basically what he's saying. He's lost Maurice Sheridan. That was a key loss. McHale feeds Horan. Got some great points last year. They could do it 1 or 2 now. Into McManaman. And I'm glad for Colin, because he always works hard and he deserves a bit of reward. Colin McManaman, the scorer. McHale, Fallon and McManaman, a 3-man midfield. Here's Fallon, scooping it on to McManaman. Nobody running off the ball for him. There's not a player getting loose. Referee says that's a penalty. I'm not so sure Barry O'Shea would agree if the ball was played in, and I'm not so sure that Pawdy would agree either. Here in McDonald Mayo, 14 minutes gone, second half. 6 points between the teams. What a responsibility it is for the young man. Oh, it's a beauty. That is an absolute beauty of a penalty kick. The arguments as to whether it should or should not have been, that's for another time. But right now, that was hit with expertise.
A great penalty kick. Goalkeeper absolutely no stop, no chance at all. Gave it down, picking out the right corner. Goalkeeper moving on the line. No way. Great goal. Mayo right back in this, but I don't know how.
Wonderful penalty kick. Ger Houlihan couldn't have taken it better than himself. Only 3 points separate the teams. Pat Holmes Mayo, Pat Fallon Mayo. Up the line to McManaman. Back to Fallon. There's life in this team, but what's more, there's a bit of heart in them as well. Here's young Heaney getting away from O'Flaherty. The support comes from James Horan, and it's over the bar, and now there's just 2 between them. Mayo are back in business.
Yes, they're certainly a spring in their step now. Terrific score from James Horan.
Croke Park, spectator-wise, is alive now, and Mayo are back in it again with James Horan going for it one more time, and one more time it's over the bar. Horan scored magnificent points last year in the championship, lost his place in the team today, but he's gained it in earnest now, and it's 1 point between them.
Was there any worry, a little worry?
Of course there was worry. Of course there was worry, because Mayo hadn't played up to then. And if you apart from the penalty, they then went on and they kicked 2 very good points in succession. And Morris kicked a very, very difficult score after that, and it was only then that we, I knew after Morris scoring that very difficult free that we were going to win it.
And Maurice Fitzgerald aiming up to his 8th point of the game. That's what it is. 8 points for Fitzgerald, who is the equal top scorer individually in the championship with David Reynolds of Offaly. Donald Daly here for Kerry, getting away from Heaney. The Kerry captain is Liam Hassett. Mayo played him well, surrounded him. Costello, the right half back, and a good piece of defending by Stephen Stack to make the turnover for Kerry, and it's cleared by Moynihan. To Daly, Michael Francis, Russell, Hallade perfectly on his left side if he wants to.
Good shoulder charge there. Ball inside. Dennis O'Dwyer and another wonderful save. Another wonderful save. All Fitzgerald needs is one more score to become the leading individual scorer of the championship year of 1997. Still that 2 points in it. Great interception by Liam O'Flaherty. O'Flaherty has had a great game, in my opinion, for Kerry today.
The final kick, really, it was the wind suited the right leg kick, and I think Eamon Breen just shouted me, kill the ball, so I killed it.
About 47 metres out, Maurice Fitzgerald. That is truly magnificent. The absolute genius of this Kerry team. And for me, without argument, the best footballer in Ireland has, with the last kick of the game, become the leading scorer in the championship of 1997. Maurice Fitzgerald in his very first All-Ireland final.
Did you see any of the rest of the game?
Yeah, this is very good now, I like this. What happened was we went back to the hospital straight away, and they gave me a radio. While they were kind of manipulating my leg, I was listening to this in the radio, so it kind of eased the pain. But at the time, Mayo were coming back, they got the penalty and they got the 2 points to make just a point difference in the game. And then I was brought for extra, I was still listening to it in the radio, and we were all set to go for the surgery when they found the television. So they put me in with the television, and I had the surgeon, a man called Mr. O'Byrne from Dublin, a very nice man, and he said he'd delay the operation until we watched the match. So there we were, the medical staff, all set ready to go, and we were watching the television, and the match was over, and they were all congratulations and all this. And I said, is there any chance we can wait for the presentation first? So we waited for the presentation as well, and then we went up. So it was it worked out pretty well. I was quite happy going under the knife.
Kerry have won the Sam after waiting 11 years, and a new batch of Kerry men have become heroes. Who was the first man you spoke to at the end of the game?
The first man was my uncle from Sneem. Jumped up on my back. I don't know how he got out in the field so quick, but he was the first person I met out in the field after the game. But it was an unreal feeling. Didn't know what to do when the whistle went. We were very numb, kind of, and relieved.
There was a lovely quote in the paper on the Monday after the final when somebody asked you to compare playing with managing a winning team. Can you remember what you said?
I think I said that, well, when you're 44 years of age and you're 2 stone overweight, it isn't bad either to be managing a team, other than winning an All-Ireland medal.
Maurice and the two Hassel brothers, Liam and Mike, called out with the cup, but I was in theatre at the time, and I actually didn't wake up. I woke up that night when Maurice was getting his Man of the Match award, and I was very happy to see it, although I was fairly groggy alright at the time. But then the following day, then I'd just taken an injection for pain, and I was fairly groggy, and Maurice Fitz called in, and I think I told him I loved him at the time or something like that, and I didn't really worry about it. Like,
you have the All-Ireland, what's left?
Well, I think the day of the All-Ireland, I never got to climb the steps. So
where did you go?
I got stuck in the crowd. I met a lot of my family and friends and people in the crowd. I couldn't make it to the steps. I'm glad now. I have got to get back.
And do you know? So you don't know how many steps it is up?
No. Although I went in on one day and I walked up, but I had a chat above it. There was no one there, so I'm looking forward to getting back up again.
Maurice Fitzgerald very quickly in towards Liam Flaherty. Here's another goal chance. It's another one. Lade cracking the shot. That is magnificent skill. A brilliant goal by Paul Lade.
Inside to Michael Francis Russell, and that is a golden goal. What about that? Maurice Fitzgerald is adorning this All-Ireland final. That is truly magnificent.